He's an eccentric man with a style and personality that perfectly match his one-of-a-kind collection. Every piece he owns reflects his bold taste and love for the extraordinary. Walking through his collection is like stepping into his mind, unpredictable, fascinating, and full of surprises. I can't wait to take a look around, and with any luck, I'll find something truly special that I can bring back to the shop. But lately, the usually thrilling world of counting cars has been shaken by an unexpected and chilling revelation. According to multiple reports, something deeply disturbing was discovered behind the scenes of the hit reality show, forcing producers to abruptly shut it down without any prior warning. No one saw it coming, not even the most loyal fans. Those who managed to catch glimpses of the behind-the-scenes footage claim it's far worse than anyone imagined. As the news spread, one question echoed across social media. What happened inside that garage? Was it a hidden scandal, a dark secret, or something even more serious that pushed the network to pull the plug? In the next few moments, we'll dive into how counting cars evolved from a small Las Vegas garage to a global TV sensation and uncover the shocking truth that brought it all to a halt. Stay tuned, because what you're about to learn will leave you completely stunned. Counting Cars wasn't just another car show. It was a full-blown cultural phenomenon. The series, produced by Left Field Pictures and aired on the History Channel, was the third spin-off of the wildly successful Pawn Stars. Filmed in the heart of Las Vegas, it followed the daily operations at Count's Customs, an automobile restoration and customization shop owned by the larger-than-life Danny "the Count" Koker. Before landing his own show, Danny had already gained recognition as a recurring expert on Pawn Stars, where his deep knowledge of classic cars and motorcycles made him an instant fan favorite. When Counting Cars premiered on August 13, 2012, it immediately struck a chord with viewers. The concept of taking old, forgotten cars and transforming them into breathtaking works of art captured the imagination of millions. Fans were fascinated by the craftsmanship, the creativity, and the emotional stories behind each restoration. Before long, Danny and his crew became household names. Tourists visiting Las Vegas started dropping by Count's Customs, hoping to meet the team or snap a selfie with one of the custom builds featured on TV. The garage turned into a tourist destination, and business skyrocketed. Success didn't stop at the shop doors. Riding the wave of fame, Danny expanded his empire. He opened Count's Vamped, a rock bar where his band, Count's 77, performed live shows packed with fans. He launched a merchandise line featuring shirts, mugs, and collectible model cars bearing the Count's Customs logo. As his popularity soared, so did his net worth. Each new season of Counting Cars brought bigger projects, riskier bets, and more emotional moments. Some episodes showed Danny restoring cars that had belonged to a client's late father, while others captured him tackling near-impossible builds just to make someone's dream come true. These heartfelt moments made fans laugh, cry, and cheer all at once. By its fourth and fifth seasons, Counting Cars had become one of the History Channel's highest-rated series, drawing millions of viewers each week. But who exactly is Danny "the Count" Koker, the man behind the legend? Born on January 5, 1964 in Cleveland, Ohio, Danny grew up in a family where cars were more than just machines. They were a way of life. His father worked for Ford Motor Company, and young Danny often found himself surrounded by engines, tools, and the hum of classic American automobiles. The 1960s, often regarded as the golden age of American muscle cars, left a lasting impression on him. From a young age, he loved taking things apart just to see how they worked, slowly developing the hands-on skills that would later define his career. His creative side wasn't limited to cars. Danny's father, Danny Koker Sr., was the lead singer of a family band, a passion that Danny inherited. Music became another part of his identity, one that he would revisit later in life. When his parents purchased a local Las Vegas television station, Channel 33, Danny started hosting a weekly horror movie show called Saturday Fright at the Movies, where he portrayed the quirky on-screen character Count Cool Rider. Though the character was eccentric and offbeat, it gave him his first taste of entertainment fame. Danny's big television break came in 2010 when he appeared on Pawn Stars, helping Rick Harrison buy and restore a 1968 Mustang Fastback. His charisma and expertise made him stand out, leading to his own spin-off series, Counting Cars. Combining his lifelong love for automobiles with his flair for entertainment, Danny created one of the most beloved custom car shows in television history. Count's Customs grew into a top-tier customization shop, offering services ranging from paint jobs and frame rebuilds to full-scale restorations and upholstery work. Danny's car collection is just as impressive as his on-screen personality. Known for his phrase, "We're going medieval on this thing," Danny treats every project with passion and precision. Among his most memorable builds are the 1968 Bullitt Mustang, featured in the show's pilot episode and restored to perfection after being found in poor condition, and the Sparkles 2 Dune Buggy, which showcased his ability to mix fun and craftsmanship. Another heartfelt build, the 1962 Volkswagen Carmen Ghia, was restored as a surprise gift for a crew member's wife, proving that the team at Count's Customs pours love into every project. By 2013, Danny's personal collection had grown to include 58 cars and 78 motorcycles, each one restored or customized by his own hands. His garage boasts rare gems like a 1932 Ford Roadster, a 1955 Chevrolet Gasser, a 1966 Ford Mustang GT 150, a 1971 Cadillac Eldorado convertible, and a 1995 Dodge Viper. Among them, the GT350 holds a special place in his heart. It was a gift from his father when he was just 9 years old and remains the one car he swears he'll never sell. The magic of Counting Cars wouldn't be complete without the rest of Danny's unforgettable crew. Scott Jones, the original manager and bookkeeper, left after Season 2 to move closer to family. Kevin Mack, Danny's longtime best friend, became his right-hand man, Horny Mike. Henry, the shop's eccentric airbrush artist, earned his nickname by literally adding horns to everything. Rolly Sabo took charge of detailing, ensuring every vehicle gleamed to perfection. Shannon Acow, the shop's lead bike builder, impressed Danny with his fabrication genius, while Ryan Evans, the head painter, became the go-to artist for all custom designs. Each team member added their unique personality and skill to the show, creating a dynamic that fans loved. Long before television fame, however, Count's Customs was already making waves in Las Vegas. Danny had built his reputation by transforming old, neglected vehicles into stunning showpieces. Locals knew him as the rock star mechanic, the guy who could turn rusted metal into rolling art. His garage became a hotspot for car lovers across Nevada, and word spread fast. Collectors from across the country began bringing their prized possessions to Danny, eager for the Count's signature touch. When the History Channel came scouting for a new spin-off idea, Count's Customs was the perfect fit. The result was Counting Cars, a show that didn't just celebrate automobiles, it celebrated passion, craftsmanship, and the art of transformation. And yet, for all its fame and success, Counting Cars is now surrounded by mystery. The recent reports of a horrifying discovery have left fans speechless and concerned. What could have possibly gone wrong inside that iconic garage? Was it a behind-the-scenes scandal, a personal betrayal, or something far darker? Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain. The legacy of Counting Cars and Danny the Count Koker will forever be etched in the history of reality television. Every once in a while, the pawn shop would come across something truly special, maybe a vintage motorcycle or a rare classic car. And whenever that happened, they'd pick up the phone and call one man who knew these machines better than anyone else, Danny Koker. His guest appearances on Pawn Stars would change everything for him. Viewers immediately connected with his energy and charisma. Danny wasn't just another car guy talking about engines. He was a character. The bandanas, the tattoos, and that unmistakable rock and roll attitude made him stand out. He spoke with passion, laughed easily, and treated every restoration like it was a priceless piece of art. The History Channel quickly noticed that every time Danny appeared on screen, the audience lit up. That spark was too strong to ignore. And in 2012, the network decided to give him his own series, Counting Cars. The idea behind the show was simple, yet incredibly captivating. Viewers followed Danny and his loyal crew as they searched for old vehicles, bought them, restored them with creative flair, and sold them for profit. As the engines roared and the builds got bolder, ratings climbed higher with every season. On the surface, everything seemed perfect. Danny was smiling on camera, the crew was thriving, and Count's customs were booming. It looked like the golden age of success, the kind of dream every creator hopes to achieve. Danny had gone from a young boy fascinated with engines to a full-blown television icon leading one of the most beloved car shows on TV. But beneath all that success, something troubling was starting to grow, small cracks that no one could see at first. It began with minor disagreements among the crew. Little misunderstandings turned into bigger disputes, and soon rumors started spreading, whispers about lawsuits, staff conflicts, and even financial troubles. Danny tried his best to keep things professional, but the more the show grew, the harder it became to control what went on behind closed doors. The rise of Count's customs had been like a dream come true for him. But as history often shows, every rise meets a turning point. For Danny Koker and his team, that turning point was closer than anyone realized. The same fame that had lifted them up soon brought challenges no one saw coming. And those challenges would lead to the horrifying discovery that stopped everything cold. For years, counting cars wasn't just a show. It was a dream factory. Fans saw a world of creativity, passion, and success. Danny, the Count Koker, was living the American dream, turning his love for cars into a thriving television empire admired by millions. But behind the shine of polished chrome, something dark was brewing. It started small, a few irregular numbers in the accounting books, missing invoices, and unexplained expenses. Nothing dramatic at first, just the kind of small issues that most businesses face. But over time, those little mistakes began to pile up, and before long, money was disappearing. Danny had always trusted his team. Count's Customs was built on loyalty and shared love for the craft. So when his accountant first brought him the strange records, he dismissed it, assuming it was a simple clerical error. But he couldn't have been more wrong. As months passed, the financial inconsistencies grew worse. Payments didn't match up. Suppliers complained about unpaid bills. Even loyal customers began noticing delays in their projects. Then came the shocking discovery that changed everything. During a routine review of bank statements, Danny's management team noticed something unusual, a series of large withdrawals listed as employee expenses. At first glance, it looked legitimate, but a closer look revealed the horrifying truth. An employee Danny trusted had allegedly been stealing from the company. Tracing the records led to one man, Joseph Frontier, a member of his own team. Reports revealed that Joseph had been embezzling thousands of dollars, allegedly using company funds for personal expenses, including payments for a luxury car and even an airline ticket. The betrayal cut deep. Danny had treated his crew like family, and now he was facing deceit from within that very circle. When fans learned about the story, they were stunned. People began wondering, if one of his own employees could do something like that, what else might have been happening behind the scenes? Danny didn't stay silent. He and his company filed a lawsuit against Frontier, accusing him of theft and misuse of company funds totaling more than $75,000. The news spread quickly. Headlines screamed, "Counting Cars employee accused of theft," and fans were shocked. For years, Danny had been the fun-loving, easygoing car enthusiast on TV. Now, his name was being dragged into stories about fraud and betrayal. And just as the dust began to settle, another blow landed, this time against Danny himself. A former client filed a lawsuit claiming that Count's Customs had taken payment for a custom car build that was never completed as promised. The client accused the shop of breaching their contract and demanded compensation. The accusations painted Danny not as the victim this time, but as the one at fault. Of course, anyone familiar with the car restoration world knows how complicated and expensive such projects can get. Between labor, parts, and unforeseen issues, costs can easily spiral beyond original estimates. Misunderstandings can quickly turn into legal disputes, and that seemed to be the case here. But the public didn't care about the details. All they saw were headlines. Counting Cars lawsuit, Danny Koker accused, Counts Customs in legal trouble. That kind of publicity made networks nervous. The History Channel had seen it before. Reality shows thrive on excitement but crumble under controversy. Sponsors start to pull away and executives begin worrying about the brand. What was once a hit suddenly becomes a liability. Meetings behind closed doors grew tense. Could Counting Cars survive the storm? Or had the damage already gone too far? Legal battles dragged on, expenses piled up, and enthusiasm started to fade. Finally, the History Channel made a quiet decision. They would not renew Counting Cars for another season. There was no grand finale or farewell episode. The cameras simply stopped rolling. Fans were blindsided. One season, the show was on air, and the next, it was gone. The lawsuits eventually settled, but the damage had already been done. Danny had been betrayed by someone he trusted. And that betrayal triggered a chain reaction that ended the show he had built with love and passion. Watching that dream crumble under the weight of greed and misplaced trust was devastating. Still, Danny didn't let it break him. He chose to stay positive, focusing on his craft, his cars, and the loyal fans who continued to support him. Though the show had ended, Counts Customs never stopped building. Danny assured everyone the shop was still open for business, and his love for restoration was as strong as ever. Yet the chapter of Counting Cars had quietly closed. When people started digging deeper, many realized that not everything on Counting Cars had been as real as it seemed. Like most reality shows, parts of it were staged or heavily edited for television. The fast-paced builds viewers saw, where a rusted car was transformed into a masterpiece within a half-hour episode, were, in reality, condensed timelines. Some projects took 6 months to a year to finish. With as many as 15 cars in progress at once, filming became a logistical nightmare. Reports also revealed that scenes of Danny buying cars on the street, handing strangers wads of cash, were often prearranged. Deals were usually made off-camera, then reenacted for dramatic effect. Even the emotional tension and crew disagreements were exaggerated or staged to keep viewers hooked. And while the craftsmanship was very real, many of the stories about how Counts Customs acquired certain cars were embellished for entertainment. Still, despite the manufactured drama, fans loved the show because underneath it all, Danny's passion was genuine. When Counting Cars finally ended, fans were heartbroken. Many hoped for a reboot or a spin-off, but Danny chose silence. For weeks, no statements were made. Only the quiet hum of engines at Counts Customs spoke for him. Even though the final season ended in December 2021, Danny's life didn't slow down. Away from television, he continued to work tirelessly on cars, music, and fan events. Counts Customs remains open in Las Vegas, offering daily tours and VIP experiences that let fans see Danny's car collection up close, including a visit to his personal showroom, Counts Vamped Rock Bar and Grill, and even the famous Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas sign for those wondering where Danny is now. He's right where he's always been, surrounded by engines, chrome, and rock music. He still leads his rock band, Counts 77, performing 70s-style metal with his wife managing the band's bookings and branding. Their shows often take place at Counts Vamped, keeping the spirit of the show alive through music and community. Danny Koker may no longer have cameras following him, but his passion has never faded. The garage still roars with life, the bar still rocks every night, and his fans still stop by for tours, pictures, and autographs. In every way that truly matters, the count never stopped counting. The end of Counting Cars didn't mark the end of Danny Koker's journey. It simply opened a new chapter, one that revealed the man behind the cameras. When the show faded from TV screens, fans realized something important. Danny's love for his craft was never about fame or money. It was about the thrill of bringing old machines back to life, the joy of creation, and the pride of craftsmanship. In the months following the show's cancellation, there was a lot of speculation. Social media buzzed with theories. Some fans believed Counting Cars would make a comeback. Others thought Danny was walking away from television entirely. But while the world debated, Danny stayed quiet and kept working. His silence wasn't out of defeat. It was the calm of a man who knew that true passion doesn't need a camera to keep going. Inside the Las Vegas garage, the work never stopped. Engines still roared, paint still gleamed, and that unmistakable scent of oil and metal still filled the air. For those who visited Count's Customs after the show's end, it felt like stepping into a living museum, a place where every car had a story, every tool had history, and every inch of the shop still carried the energy of the show's glory days. Even without television, Danny remained deeply connected to his fans. The shop opened its doors to visitors through free and VIP tours, offering fans a rare chance to see the artistry up close. The VIP experience was a dream for any car lover. Guests could walk through Danny's private showroom, admire his personal collection of custom builds, and even visit Count's vamped rock bar and grill, where live music still echoed the same rock and roll spirit that had defined counting cars. For those who couldn't make the trip to Las Vegas, Danny continued to engage online through social media and fan events. He made sure that the Count's Customs name remained strong, a symbol of authenticity. In a world where so much of what we see on screen is carefully staged. But Danny isn't just about cars. Music runs through his veins just as much as motor oil. His band, Count's 77, became another outlet for his passion and creativity. The group's music is pure rock and metal, heavily inspired by the sound of the 1970s, gritty, powerful, and full of soul. On stage, Danny transforms from the car builder everyone knows into a full-fledged rock frontman, pouring his heart into every performance. His wife, Corey, manages the band and their brand, ensuring that both Count's Customs and Count's 77 continue to thrive. While many television stars fade away after the cameras stop rolling, Danny has done the opposite. He's busier than ever, juggling his shop, his music, and his business ventures. The Count's Customs brand now includes not just car builds, but merchandise, collectibles, and experiences that fans from around the world travel to see. Every shirt, poster, and signed item carries that familiar Count's logo, a reminder that while Counting Cars the show may be gone, the Counting Cars legacy lives on, and that's the beauty of Danny Koker's story. What started as a few guest appearances on Pawn Stars turned into a cultural phenomenon that inspired millions of people to follow their passion. Danny's rise to fame was built not just on talent, but on authenticity. He showed viewers that hard work, creativity, and a love for what you do can turn any dream into reality. Yes, the journey had its shadows, betrayal, lawsuits, and heartbreak. The discovery of internal theft and the collapse of a beloved TV show could have destroyed anyone's spirit, but Danny refused to let it. Instead, he turned those setbacks into lessons, rebuilding his world with the same determination he used to restore every rusted car that entered his shop. Today, Count's Customs still stands tall in Las Vegas, not just as a business, but as a symbol of resilience. Visitors can still hear the hum of power tools, see sparks fly as metal meets fire, and witness the same creative energy that first captivated audiences on TV. Danny still greets fans, still takes pride in his team, and still lives by one rule: never stop creating. For longtime fans, walking into Count's Customs feels like revisiting an old friend. The walls lined with memories, the cars gleaming under the lights. It all serves as a living reminder of the show that once brought people together from around the world. It's proof that passion never fades. It only evolves. And perhaps that's the true message behind Counting Cars. It was never just about engines or chrome. It was about transformation, turning something forgotten into something extraordinary, whether that's a car, a career, or a dream. Danny Koker may have faced loss, controversy, and betrayal. But like every great craftsman, he took what was broken and made it beautiful again. So while Counting Cars may have ended, Danny's story hasn't. The cameras might be gone, but the legacy and the love, the drive, the sound of engines and guitars continues to echo through Las Vegas and far beyond. Danny, the Count Koker, remains the heart of that legacy, proving that real passion doesn't fade when the spotlight turns off. It only burns brighter.